MovieWeb.com.
This is 2003. This is what the sun looks like, and the stars. This is the president. And this is the sun in 1955, and the stars, and the president. My parents got married in 1955. They had a child, and they stayed married for 44 years until my mother died. 6 months later, my father told me he was gay.
I'm gay.
I remember him wearing a purple sweater when he told me this, but actually he wore a robe.
I'm gay.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about right off the bat, and I don't mean this to be flip whatsoever, your American accent is fantastic. And I found that as an audience member, it's a tough one to do. I think it's tougher than people realize. Could you tell me a little bit about the accent in the film?
Yeah, I work with a brilliant dialect coach called Liza Helmelstein, and I've worked with her for quite a few years now. And if I'm playing an American, and we work very specifically on the sound of an accent, and generally speaking, I work with her on Philip Morris. I love you, Philip Morris, and then I met Philip Morris and we had recordings of Philip Morris, and we worked on that. And with this, I had Mike Mills, my writer and director, on set, and he's also the character I'm playing in the film. So I had Mike record all of the dialogue, and I just worked to that. I listened to it. I tried to have a flavour of him, although I don't sound... I think if we both spoke in a room with me using my accent from beginners, you might not say that, it was the same voice, but for me, it was a flavour of him. And it was just something that once you start, you have to work quite hard on an accent to begin with, and once you get it, it becomes second nature, and then as you're acting, you're not really thinking about it. And it's generally when it's wrong that you notice it. If you get a sound wrong, which happens from time to time, then that sort of jumps out to your ear, and then you have to do another take.
Now, for most of us, it's strange just hearing your own recorded voice back to you. How does it feel hearing your voice in different accents?
Doing accents. Well, it is odd to begin with. I find, because generally when you see a film that you've been in, it's probably a good 6 months or more since you finished the film. And in this case, it was much longer. I didn't see Beginners until about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I just wanted it. I had such a special experience making the film. I didn't want to see it in a on a DVD or see it in a screening room. I wanted to see it with an audience. So I waited till I had the opportunity to do that in San Francisco about 4 weeks ago.
Oh, perfect.
And but it's odd when you hear, because the accent, it for the first 2 or 3 minutes you're aware of it,
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, oh God, am I getting it right? And then if it's fine, you just stop listening to it anymore.
Could you speak a little more to the, when you're working with the writer and director where it's also so autobiographical?
Yeah.
What are some of the particular challenges? You mentioned some of the benefits, obviously. What are some of the challenges of having that presence right there when you're playing them and yet you're doing your own interpretation? And how do you strike the balance there?
I didn't. I never felt that there was I never felt it like a pressure or a kind of a load that I had to carry. I really felt, because Mike is a brilliant collaborator and he's a brilliant filmmaker. So with the actors, you really create the work together, and he never expected me to copy him or mimic him or do an impersonation of him. He always said that Oliver was to be my character, but I really wanted it to be Mike because it is his story, and these are the words that he wrote, the scenes that he decided to put in his film, and they're really scenes from his life. They're very personal scenes, So I wanted it to be like Mike or feel like him, but at the same time it was my version of that, I suppose, and he never put me under any pressure about it.
Sex, life, healing, nature, magic.
The memory of love's refrain.
This is what I'm supposed to feel like. Yeah, me too.